I'm Susan Reynolds, and I'm a lifelong member of Hartsville's First Baptist Church. In 1951, I was born into the Cradle Roll Department, and in 1963, I joined the church on Easter Sunday, and I was baptized in the chapel by Dr. Davis Sanders several weeks later. My parents were also lifelong members of the church, and my grandmother, Laura Lawton Reynolds, was the church's first organist and choir director. She held that position for 50 years, from 1908 through 1958. And for the past 20 years or so, I've had the honor of serving as the church's historian. So today, I'm here in the attic of the chapel to give you all a little history about the chapel bell. This bell is made of bronze and weighs approximately 600 pounds. It was ordered in 1896 by Major James Lyde Coker for the First Baptist Church. He ordered the bell from a bell foundry in Baltimore, Maryland, and had the bell shipped to Hartsville by train. When it arrived, it was brought over to the First Baptist Church campus and installed in the existing original wooden church building, which had previously been built around 1850. The bell remained in that original church building until the building burned to the ground in the early 1900s. The bell survived the fire. Then, when the replacement building was completed in 1908, this bell was installed here in the attic of what we now call the chapel. And by the way, the chapel sits on the highest point of ground in the city of Hartsville. And the chapel was built right over the original foundation of the first church. The bell was restored in 2004 by the McIntosh family. I remember that my father told me when he was a boy, he was often allowed to ring this bell on Sunday morning. He did this by means of a rope which was attached to the bell and went through the floor of the attic and dropped down onto the porch below. The rope is no longer here, but the bell still rings.
My name is Joe McCullough. I came to First Baptist Church when I was 8 or 9 years old when my parents moved to town. I grew up in the church, Boy Scout Troop 514. I had many wonderful teachers, Sunday school teachers. In 1950, I was baptized. And if you all have good math, you can see I've been a member for 75 years. I've been on many committees. I was elected deacon in 1972, and I've taught Sunday school off and on for probably about 30 years. I've had a rich experience at First Baptist Church, and of course, I've come to know Jesus as my Savior. An interesting fact, after I finished pharmacy school, I was in church, and the pastor said, "We need someone to pick up girls at Coker College and bring them to church." I said I could do that, so I started picking up girls. I met Marilyn, my first wife. We got married and had 2 beautiful children.
My name is Trent McDonald. I grew up in this church from a very young age. My mom and dad went here for a long time. My grandparents were here. We're celebrating 175 years, and I would say probably a good 100 of it's always been in my family by some member or another. This church has always been special to me. It's always meant a lot. Excuse me. I'm hoping to keep that legacy going with my kids and let them experience the happiness I've had.
Yes, my name is Ellis Parsons Jr., and I'm a member of First Baptist Church. Joined Probably earliest memories are early 50s during the baby boom years. I have two younger brothers, Billy and Eddie, and my parents are Annie Cole Parsons and Ellis Parsons. My mom lived to be 99, my dad 106. Probably my earliest memories of First Baptist Church or going to Sunday school with in the Lawton building, maybe Ms. Irwin, Ms. Quick, some very strong teachers, children everywhere. I can remember Dr. Davis Sanders was a minister in the early 50s, and I remember that booming, resonant voice that really got your attention. He was very effective minister. And I my next memories are probably some of the junior department. Maybe I can remember having Luke Davis, who was Merle Baxley's father, and he was a World War I veteran. He used to give us hair-raising stories of World War I. He was a very effective teacher. Also, Mr. Charles Burry, Ernest Sullivan, Mr. Howard Gandy was a great teacher, and he was a veteran of World War II. He used to give us some hair-raising stories too. I joined the church in 1961 when I was 17. I waited a little while. I had to think about it, I guess, a little bit. But it was during a revival of Dr. Sanders in April, I think it was. But it was, I can remember it was with other people baptized, or probably the Mines family, like Joey Mines and Joanne Mines. And other memories was just having very strong leaders in the church, kids overflowing, baby boomers everywhere. I can remember probably my experience in the church was divided because after my 18th year and I went off to school at Wofford, I moved away for 4 years. And after that, I was in the Army for 2 years. And then, no longer affiliated with the church, I moved to Columbia, South Carolina, and had a couple of jobs over there for 30 years, working for a coffee company and working for a car dealership, and moved back to Hartsville probably in 2009 when my father became deathly ill, had deadly pneumonia. But he recovered after about a month, thanks to everyone's prayer. And then I kind of settled into taking care of them, did not immediately go back to the church, but was kind of had a twisted arm by Carl Pennington and Tony Floyd. They wanted me to join, and I kept putting them off, and I regret doing that. But best move I ever made when I finally, in 2013, I joined the men's class. And I will never forget that those associations and fellowship. And people came and went. You know, we lost members and gained members, but it was an amazing class experience, and did a lot to increase my Christianity, probably my spirituality. I really enjoyed being in First Baptist Church, and hope they have another 175 wonderful years.
I'm Wesley Blackwell, and I have enjoyed being a member of the First Baptist Church, enjoyed serving as treasurer for many years, and of course served as deacon at many years. And the thing that I'm so thankful of are the people who came before me, the ones that we sort of stood on their shoulders. I'd like to mention a few of those today. Pap Timmerman and his wife Margaret, Bucky Gadlock and his wife Nell, Hubert Welch and his wife Sarah, Norman Turner and his wife Nancy, Luther Hall and his wife Jackie. We appreciate those people that have done the work to carry the church on before us.
name's Larry Easterling. I've been a member of First Baptist. I'm third generation, so I think I've been a member, given my age, for most of the last 75 years, so to speak. I grew up in this church, and this church always has been about family. I had a very large family, and we used to fill up probably a third of the section of the church over there on Sunday mornings. But this church is very important to me. It helped us raise our kids in Christian faith. And I mean, going back, I can't say anything about our history of our church if I didn't mention Dr. Sanders. He was preacher here when I came through. And Ms. Josephine Irvin, Ms. Jo, I think we were always in awe of who she was, what she was. And, you know, the people of First Baptist they made my life, so to speak.
Hello, I'm James Redfern. This is my wife, Tracy.
I am Tracy Redfern. James and I wanted to just jump in really quick this afternoon and share a little bit about our marriage. We were married in the beautiful sanctuary of First Baptist Church, March the 4th, 2000. And it really launched us into beautiful ministry as a couple, joining together Gum Branch, which is the sister church or a feeder church that helped build First Baptist. And we think that is notable in the celebration of 175 years. When James and I were married, since I was so embedded at Gum Branch Baptist and served as pianist for 13 years, a Sunday school teacher, and working with the children, James and our girls, just jumped right in serving at Gum Branch, where you were deacon. And we just hosted events for the children in our community on an even greater scale. And in 2021, we moved our ministry, Child and Family Resource Center and the foundation, into the parsonage of First Baptist Church, where we just have really enjoyed being able to be church, to be mission for the children and families of our community. And we just wanted to be able to say that, and how beautiful it is that the Lord joined us with James growing up as a cradle roll baby all the way through until our marriage, being a part of First Baptist, and now we are serving in First Baptist and Child and Family Resource and extension of our community. And we just want to say thank you to First Baptist Church for being the hand of the Lord for the children and families of our community, and happy 175.
Hello, my name is Ray Jones, and I want to share some of my memories of First Baptist Church beginning January of 1955, which went to August 1965. My recollections of First Baptist Church began when my family moved to Hartsville. The first Sunday attending, we were overwhelmed as we entered the sanctuary, which is known today as the chapel, with a pipe organ resonating throughout the corners and crevices of the entire church sanctuary, with the most angelic music and sounds. Mrs. Laura Lawton Reynolds, a very accomplished musician, was the organist at that time. And I might add that she was the grandmother of Dr. Susan Reynolds and Dr. Lester Reynolds in our church today. Later in the service, when the choir sang, and the voices were so beautiful, and then came the message by Dr. Sanders. Now, his motto at the top of the bulletin each Sunday would always say, "Enter in silence, wait upon the Lord." And in that silence, we listened in awe to that beautiful music, Sunday after Sunday, waiting upon the Lord. Needless to say, my family did not hesitate about which church in Hartsville to attend. Sunday school at that time was the cradle roll, the primary department, junior, intermediate, youth, college, career, and adults 1, 2, and 3. The primary and junior departments were downstairs under the sanctuary. The intermediate, youth, college, and career departments were in a building where the Family Life building is today. The adults 1, 2, and 3 departments were in the Lawton building, as well as the cradle roll. The building located where the sanctuary is today held the fellowship hall and the church offices. At Sunday school each week, we would meet in the assembly room, which was surrounded by the classrooms, and have a short devotion, sing songs, and have prayer, then go to our classrooms. The classes were small, with about 8 children in each class. I learned so much about the Bible and memorized many Bible verses. I don't remember the exact number, but I would guess there were about 400 or more who attended Sunday school at that time. Sunday evenings brought training union and the Sunday night service. Training union for the youth was about studying the Bible and having participants to present parts of the lesson to the group for instruction and learning. It was a way of preparing young people for leadership in the church later on. There were GAs, which was Girls Auxiliary, and RAs, which were Royal Ambassadors for the boys. These two groups met in the homes of the participants once a month. In our meetings, we learned about missions around the world. It was a time of prayer for missions, studying about missions, and fellowship. Lots of learning and lots of fun. There were choirs for all ages, and summer brought 2 weeks of Bible school. It was a learning time, a fun time, and lots of memorization of Bible verses, many of which I can still recite to this day. Now I want to show you some pictures, things that I have collected over the years. This is a picture of the ladies of the church, a meeting of some of the ladies of the church, and this was in 1965. Then I have a picture. Now this was taken from the newspaper. This is Dr. Sanders and Mrs. Sanders on his retirement in 1970. And this is a picture taken in October of 1975. This was the commemoration of the 125th anniversary of First Baptist Church. And they are showing where the mortgage was paid off for the new sanctuary that we have today. It was paid off early, so it was a big celebration at that anniversary. Here's a picture taken in 1975 of the ladies in the Missionary Society. They were dressed for the occasion. 100 years of the Women's Missionary Society in First Baptist Church. in 1975. Then I have a copy of a visitor from 1986, and it looked like this. And it folded out, had lots of announcements, things to do in the church. And then I have a copy of a bulletin from 1999. This was an Easter cantata that we did, and Charles Roberts was the director. Now on the back it shows you the choir members, and then that Easter we sang with an orchestra, and they are listed at the bottom. These are just a few things that I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Brad Herring. I've been a member of First Baptist Church since 1980, a long time. I met my wife in this church. We got married in this church, and we have 2 daughters, and they were both saved in this church. So First Baptist Church has a very deep meaning for our family. My parents were members here, and as was my siblings also. So the roots grow pretty deep in this church for us, and we love First Baptist Church, and I have served on several different committees, and also been chairman of the board several times, chairman of the deacon board, and whatever we can do to serve our church, we try to extend our being a volunteer to do whatever is asked of us to First Baptist Church.
I'm Lester Reynolds, and First Baptist Church has been a very important part of my life. I was born into the cradle roll department, and then when I was around 11 years old, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I joined First Baptist Church. Dr. Sanders baptized me, and I was one of the very first people to be baptized in the new sanctuary. Years later, I was honored and humbled to be elected a deacon, and I enjoyed serving several terms as deacon. But now, my role is being on the grounds committee, and I enjoy helping John, Larry, and Dave maintain this very, very large church campus. One of my favorite childhood memories happened right here where we're standing during the construction of the new sanctuary. A large group of people started gathering around. There were church members and other onlookers to watch the assembly of the new steeple. There was a huge crane out here that helped hoist each section one atop the other. Before the cross was installed, a lot of the church members were carrying around trying to find nails to scratch their name into the metal on the cross. And I found a rusty nail, and I etched my name into the metal of the cross. Then we all watched as the mighty crane lifted the cross to the very top of the steeple. Somebody said in the audience that our names were just a little closer to God.
Hi, I'm Craig Hayes. I want to introduce to you my parents, Elaine Hayes and Frank Hayes. And I really do appreciate that back in 1970, they introduced me to First Baptist Church, and I've been going there ever since. Now I'm going to let my mother tell y'all some stuff about her fond memories of the church.
And I'm 88 years old. And my earliest memory was as a student at Coker College back in the 1950s. And no one had a car back then to drive, so we would walk down Home Avenue in our dresses, complete with high heels, hats, and gloves, pocketbooks to attend church. And we would walk back to the college after the service, but on occasions, Ms. May Coker and her chauffeur would bring us back to the college in her limousine. And that was very special, not only the ride, but we got to talk to Ms. May too. And then I joined First Baptist in 1961 when I moved to Hartsville as a newlywed. I immediately started teaching children in Sunday school, and that lasted for 50 plus years, probably 55. And I taught with some wonderful people who became very good friends. We always had fun, more fun probably than the children did. And we emphasized memory work. They had to learn the Bible verse each Sunday that went along with the Bible story. They learned the books of the Bible, the 23rd Psalm, John 3:16, the fruit of the Spirit, and other Bible verses all through the years. And those were my fondest memories, and I enjoyed each and every one of those years that I taught Sunday school. Now Frank, who's 92, is going to tell you about his memories.
I sure have them. I've been around a long time. I went to First Baptist when I was a young child. I really started before I could walk. And I've done just about everything you can think of in the church. I enjoyed coming there as a youngster, starting at a very early age. Just how young, I don't know, but very, very young. I've been all grades, enjoyed that. And I guess we got out of Sunday school and went on into the adults. But I fondly remember our pastors, and particularly Bill West. Bill West was a member of our church and pastor back years ago. I enjoyed all of that.
And you served as
chairman of deacons
under Bill West.
Under Bill West, and thoroughly enjoyed that. His leadership meant an awful lot to me. To others also, I'm sure. But he was a real nice fellow. Have good memories of him and his wife and family. He's moved on now, graduated, and gone on to something else. But he was a very faithful member of our church. He surely was. I loved him very much.
Do you have any Sunday school memories?
Yes. I have Sunday school memories going way back. Primarily when I was a junior, coming up, we underwent many building opportunities in situations back then as well. Our church did an awful lot of remodeling, bring us up to where we are today. But I remember back years ago, Mr. Hal Newsom's father, Jim Newsom, he was a mighty nice man. He worked at the Ford place in Hartsville. He was our teacher. He did an awful lot of things in the church. Mr. Jim Newsom, and I appreciate him, what he's done. And he used to encourage boys to do other things. And particularly, he encouraged me to play baseball when I was a teenager, and had a baseball team. He bought every boy in the class baseball, and we enjoyed having him as our teacher also.
Hi, I'm Harriet Gupton, and I'm with my mother, Jean Redfern, and she would like to share some of her memories of First Baptist Church. And Mother, can you think of your earliest memories? Tell me, when did you become a member of First Baptist?
I think I was about 12, but I've been going all my life. So
I hadn't thought of that. When you were baptized?
I was baptized then.
And who baptized you?
Dr. Reeves.
Yes, and you are a cradle roll baby?
I'm a cradle roll baby. Been there all my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how long would that be? How old are you?
97.
Yes, you are. You just had a birthday.
I'm 97. And that's been my life at First Baptist.
And Dr. Reeves baptized you?
And married me.
Married you and Dad?
Yeah.
And you taught Sunday school. What age did you teach?
Oh, I taught 3-year-olds.
Tell me about them.
Get them to sit still and sing, and we sang a lot. So
you enjoyed them?
I enjoyed the 3-year-olds. They're wonderful. They're very excited to be in church, in Sunday school.
Hello, this is Mike Baxley, and I am privileged to be sitting here with my mom, Ms. Merle Baxley, and we want to talk a little bit about First Baptist Church. My mom has been a member of First Baptist Church all of her life, and she has a cradle roll certificate from February of 1926, when she first became a member by birth at First Baptist Church. And all of her life has been a member of First Baptist Church, and we want to talk a little bit about some of the memories that she has from her years at First Baptist Church. So you want to tell us what your memories are from First Baptist Church?
Well, I have wonderful memories of my experience of growing up in First Baptist Church. I guess I almost feel like as soon as I was born, I became a member. And actually I did in spirit, but I was not baptized until probably about age between 10 to 12. But I have some wonderful memories of being a part of the development of our church. Some wonderful, wonderful people I came in close contact with. And not only that, the experience of growing up with wonderful Sunday school teachers that guided, loved me, watched over me, prayed for me, and led me on a closer journey with Christ. I'm so grateful to those wonderful, women teachers that I had during those early years. They meant so much to me, added so much to my love that was developing for the church. I'm greatly privileged to have grown up in that environment.
Mom, let me ask you, of course, your dad was Luke Davis,
Yes.
who worked in the post office for about 40 years here in Hartsville.
Yes.
And he was a deacon at First Baptist when you were coming up, is that right?
Yes.
And your mother, Irene Robertson Davis, was also active in the church, is that right?
In those early years, yes. My dad was also a teacher of boys in the junior department for many years, under the guidance of Miss Josephine Irwin. She headed that age group and was an inspiration to so many young boys, young girls during that age of being a part of the junior department.
You know, Granddaddy was also my teacher and my brother's teacher in the junior department.
My dad
at
was.
First Baptist, yes ma'am.
I'd forgotten.
And you were kind to say that Miss Jo provided guidance. I may have been a little bit more commands from time to time, but she certainly ran the junior department in good shape.
Yes.
Now, you also were baptized at First Baptist Church, and what preacher baptized you?
Dr. Howard Reeves, who was one of our early preachers of the church, baptized me. I admired him very much, and his beautiful wife and family of 3 or 4 boys. Much indebted to his making me want to be a part of the growth of the church, so that later I too became a teacher there. But also being such I'm still speaking of Dr. Reeves, of being such an inspiration to me, and guidance, and a guidance to help me begin my Christian walk of faith. I'm much indebted to his preaching, to his love, to his help of helping me to understand what being a Christian really meant.
And you were also, you mentioned this, you taught in the primary department at the church for many years, and you also taught in the senior department,
yes,
Sunday school for many years.
The oldest class in the church.
Right.
So I went from a beginner to a graduate of not only teaching these seniors, but also being a member of that group. Other leaders, other people my age had all traveled together under the spiritual guidance of some wonderful teachers. That then, at this late period, I found myself actually being a teacher of my very own group. It was quite an experience. I certainly didn't feel adequate myself. Some of them I always felt were much more being the leader of that class that I felt that I was.
Now you and Daddy, which was your husband, my dad's name was Bill Baxley, were married at First Baptist Church, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And
in the chapel.
Okay, and you remember what year that was?
I beg your pardon?
So you remember what year that was?
1947.
All right, that was September 7th of 1947. We actually have a picture from them walking out of the chapel down the aisle on the day they were married.
Yes.
So most of your life, really, all the parts of your life, young adult, now older adult, have all been as a part of First Baptist Church.
Yes, and I'm so grateful for the experience of growing up in that church. I was exposed to some marvelous Christian characters that guided me with love, care, always interested in what was happening to me. And the point I want to make, is that just wasn't for me. It's the way all of the young people at that time were cared for by their leaders, by their teachers, as guidance, directors, and just provided us with so much spiritual love and care, far more than I think the average person expected from their spiritual leaders. We received so much more.
So I think that all the folks in our family can say that we are grateful to the institution and people of First Baptist Church for the profound difference it's made in our lives. God bless you.
Hi, I'm John Nichols. We're here to celebrate the 175th anniversary of First Baptist Church in Hartsville. I've been asked to give some comments about my time with the church and my experiences at the church and my family's history with the church and that kind of thing. So I want to give a few comments today about that. Start with just a general statement about any church, I guess, but particularly First Baptist is the people that have always made this church and make any church really. You know, the old adage about here's the church, here's the steeple, open the doors and see the people, and that really is what a church is about. In my case, my family was very devoted to the church over the years. My father was John Nichols, and we had a restaurant, and he had to work on Sundays, but he made time to come and teach a men's Sunday school class for over 20 years. When he died, we found reams of material that he had developed over the years in teaching those classes. It was amazing to me. His sister was my Aunt Sophia Nichols. She was a missionary to Brazil, was there for over 30 years, and she was sponsored by the church, and when she finally retired, she came back and worked in the church doing contact work, visiting people in nursing homes and in homes for the church. So really spent a lot of time after her retirement in First Baptist. My mother was one of those who was here every time the doors opened, literally. And whether it was Sunday morning, as a younger person, she taught Sunday school classes for children. She was involved in Vacation Bible School, WMU, the circles that they had, meeting in various houses. And she made sure that everybody in our family was at church every Sunday night, and every Wednesday night. She was, if they had a cover dish supper, she was there, and she was had her dish with her. It was really inspiring when I look back at all that her commitment to the church and what she meant to the church. As a child, I remember at a very young age being in the cherub choir. I don't know what the age limits were, but probably somewhere between 6 and 10 years old. And the choir room was in the very rear top of the chapel building, what's now the chapel. We had an exterior it wasn't a fireplace, but it was a staircase that we went up and went in the rear of the chapel back there. Gordon Fletcher, I think, was the choir director's name. He was a real teacher of music, and he tried to instill in all of his choirs the fine points of trying to sing together as a unit and pronunciation of words and that kind of thing. Clinton Flowers followed him, and when I was in the junior choir, and again trying to teach children about singing in the choir was paramount, I guess, in their work. When I was probably around 10 years old, I was baptized by Dr. Davis Sanders. Dr. Sanders was a very dedicated servant to the church. He was the pastor during a period of growth for the church over a period that was over 20 years plus, I think. And I remember going to counseling sessions with Dr. Sanders as we talked about what it meant to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. I remember those sessions, and a little intimidating, but we talked through a lot of issues. A couple of years later, I was at one of the Sunday night services, and after church we played chase. And it was typical that myself and a couple of the children would chase each other around in the church, in the very front of the church, and there would be a large number of people standing outside talking after the church service. In one particular night, I was playing chase, and I saw a little opportunity to slide between some people, and so I darted what I thought was going to be through some people, but inadvertently I hit the preacher's wife, Mrs. Sanders, and although the hit wasn't that great, it did upset her balance, and she ended up falling to the ground. And so that was a pretty serious thing for a child of 10 or 11 years old. And so at that point, I was very concerned about her, and I was also concerned about me, what was going to happen to me when I got home. And my mother, I think, confirmed some of my worst thoughts about what might happen to me, but I didn't play chase for a while after that, at least after church. It was a real memorable experience for me. Not long after, I was coming to Vacation Bible School, and there was opportunity to ask a few youth, if they wanted to ring the bell of the church in the chapel. And of course, I think everybody probably jumped at the chance. So I remember a rope coming down. I don't remember exactly where it was or what part of the church, but I remember the rope coming down and pulling the rope, and you pulled it several times to get the bell going, and then I remember you could hold on to the rope, and it would take you up a couple of feet before you'd get to ride it back down, and that was something I thought was really a lot of fun, I guess, at that particular point. In retrospect, I felt like Dr. Sanders probably had to be a kind of forgiving type after I knocked his wife down a little time before that, but I think it was everybody recovered from the experience, I guess, so it worked out fine. As I got older, I was away from Hartsville for a few years, and then came back and started serving as a deacon, served on just about every committee I think that the church had. We was on a group to look into building different buildings, fundraising committees, that kind of thing, and it was really a grand opportunity to see people and recognize the contributions that so many people made in the church. I mean, I could sit here and list tens and scores of people who had really made a profound impact on the church. I'll tell you though, one person in particular that comes to mind is Mr. Norman Turner. Norman Turner, was really an icon in my mind. He was on essentially every activity that the church had to offer. Norman was there, whether it was serving on the deacons. He probably served on the deacons for 30 or 40 years, off and on, as your terms would expire, and you had to have a little time off and come back on. He was the church treasurer for probably 20 or 30 years. He went on mission trips. He was in the church choir for over 30 years. He was on the church softball team. He helped cut the grass on the church grounds maintenance team. It was just really an inspiration to be around Norman. Norman, to me, I always thought him like Superman. He was Clark Kent in his appearance and his demeanor. But when you looked at the impact and the service that Norman was to First Baptist Church, he really was Superman. So as we head into the next 100 years, I hope more of us can be like Norman Turner and provide that type of commitment to First Baptist Church. It's been a fantastic experience for all of us to be a part of First Baptist. Thank you.
First off, I'd like to thank Susan Reynolds for the time and effort she puts into First Baptist Church. It's been said somewhere that generations don't remember the next generation, or this generation doesn't remember the past. That's where we need history. One thing will come and go, but the earth and the church will remain constant. 175 years constant. I'm Colin Hungerpin, a third generation First Baptist Church member. 1951, Cradle Road Department. My remembrances of the church or the church family, teachers and leaders, my parents, my family, and my grandparents. All of their commitments, these great individuals that served the church, they were dedicated to First Baptist Church, asking nothing in return. The church was full of these dedicated servants. Two individuals that were influential on me and some of my buddies when we were young in the junior department were Mr. Luke Davis, who worked with us tirelessly on our memory verses and stories of the Bible. And he will always be remembered for the influence he had on us young boys. Another was Mr. James Fink. He was my Sunday school teacher for a number of years, and he challenged us on several things. One was to learn our memory verses and to invite the members of our class that were not at Sunday school or church the prior Sunday. It was a team effort, and we had to report every Sunday how many of our absent class members we contacted. We did that diligently, trying to see who could outdo the other, and Mr. Fink rewarded us for our efforts, taking us on camping trips, taking us out to his farm, taking us to his home for cookouts. He just really was a great atmosphere for the group of troublemakers I was with at that point in time. Mr. Fink was teaching us lessons that we didn't realize at the time. Very thankful for that. Excuse me, sit up. I guess some milestones for me at First Baptist Church. Accepting Christ when I was a young man, or a youth, and being baptized into the fellowship of First Baptist Church, which was a validation of acceptance and belonging that was important for youth at that time. Another moment in history would be marrying my lovely wife, Elaine, in the sanctuary of First Baptist Church. Dr. Aubrey Floyd performed the ceremony, and he told me afterwards, he said, "Colin, I have never had anyone have a standing ovation. I didn't know whether it was for you or whether it was for Elaine." And we just kind of chuckled. But that has been a commitment that has been blessed by the church, my family, and our faith. She was a wonderful addition to our family. The other thing that stood out to me was the prayer team at First Baptist Church. They were diligent and very timely in their prayers and their concern and their contacts when my son Colin was battling the unknown of a medical problem that he had at the time. And we are truly, truly blessed to have those individuals. They're a big, big thank you to them. There were many, many other individuals that had an influence on my life, as well as a lot of my buddies' lives as we came through First Baptist Church. These were men that would give of their time at Vacation Bible School to teach us how to build a birdhouse, or to teach us how to make a lamp out of cypress stump. One humorous thing was Hartsville was always known as a baseball town, still is a baseball town. Well, all of my buddies would bring their bats, balls, and gloves to Vacation Bible School. And my mom said, "Where are you going with that bat and ball today?" I said, "Vacation Bible School." She said, "No, you're not going to the church to play baseball. You're going to church to learn." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I put my bat and ball up, but I was always disappointed that everybody else had their bat and ball and I didn't have mine. But I understood the value of the lesson that she was teaching me. We're so indebted to those individuals that came before us, whether it was in the youth ministry, the music ministry, which we have a long, long history of wonderful individuals in that music ministry, and the prayer teams and the fellowship teams. It's all a family, it's all a church, and it should remain constant for another 175 years. Well, for what we're doing, we're doing it differently, but it never changes. The earth doesn't change, and the word of the Lord does not change, and his promise to us of eternal salvation. Thank you.
James Lyde Coker was born in Darlington County in northeastern South Carolina about 50 years after the American Revolution. When Confederate soldiers fired on Union-held Fort Sumter in Charleston, the war was on. Southerners felt this was their second war for independence, so fighting was their patriotic duty. James immediately volunteered. He quickly organized a regiment from the PD and was elected captain of Company G. Not long afterward, James was promoted to infantry commander, then field captain. Later, he would be elevated to the rank of major. On October 28, 1863, at the Battle of Lookout Mountain, Generals Bragg and Longstreet gave the order for a brigade, including James's company, to make a surprise attack and capture a Yankee wagon train and the troops guarding it. James said the orders were to capture the pickets of the enemy and press rapidly towards them and engage them. I was sent in to bear this order to a part of the line, and while delivering it, I was shot down. James's femur was shattered as he was shot below the left hip. James escaped death only by a miracle, but remained lame in one leg for life. The war had sucked the life out of the South, and few places were worse off than Sherman-devastated Darlington County. The Cokers were as destitute as their neighboring sharecroppers, with no money to speak of, no carts or wagons, and ashes for crops. James had done what he thought was right by going to the war, yet the result was utter disaster. Both the depth of his character and the authenticity of his faith were now on trial. How would James respond? Lesser men would have been embittered, but James, in the power of God, transcended the circumstances, kept a good attitude, and focused on what he could control. He embraced the principle of Proverbs 24:16, "A righteous man falls 7 times and rises again." In 1865, he resumed teaching on his crutch and became Sunday school superintendent. James taught Sunday school to older elementary-age children at First Baptist Church, Hartsville from 1857 to 1860, and again after the war from 1865 to 1905. He and Sue expanded the Sunday school into a rural mission, making 2 trips a month out in the country to teach literacy and Bible to barefoot children, African American and white. They led Sunday school together inside and outside the church walls for the next 38 years. The Major's daughter-in-law, Vivian Coker, said, "Mother taught the wee little children and Major the big ones." Many of the Sunday schoolers were illiterate, so James and Sue also taught them out of Webster's American Spelling Book, 1824 edition, better known as the Blueback Speller. Dr. E.W. Sykes, First Baptist deacon, later president of Coker College and then Clemson University, wrote this about the Major's Sunday school ministry. Everyone was poor after the war, and it was difficult to obtain proper literature for Sunday school teachers and students. So Major Coker purchased a small hand printing press, and each week he and Sue prepared the lessons for the teachers and students. The Major and James Jr. printed the lessons on the small press. One of their students said the Sunday school lessons were written by Major Coker, planned in such a way as to interest the students. Author Rogers recalled, "One Sunday a big rain came and caught the whole crowd at church. As they couldn't get home, the Major went to his store and got crackers and cheese, and I don't know what all, and they all had a good time having lunch at the church." Vivian Coker once commented that the Major and Sue were known to hold Sunday school in their own kitchen. "When I first came here, so many people would say, 'Oh, Miss Sue taught me to read.' So many people around here, all the education they got was that 1 hour on Sunday." Josephine Irwin also commented, "Mrs. Coker would take them in and play the piano for them and give them tea or lemonade and cakes. That was for poor country people." Professor R.W. Durrett told the following story. Major went to visit a farmer to learn why he had not been coming to church. "You see these clothes I have on. Major, do you think they are good enough to wear at church?" "Well," said the Major, looking him up and down, "I believe you are about my size. I'll send you a suit." The farmer kept the suit but never did come to church. Nevertheless, the incident reveals the Major's zeal for the residents of Darlington County to hear God's word. Angus Gainey wrote, "I'll never forget he made himself one of the boys. He wasn't the wonderful J.L. Coker, he was just another boy." The old Major knew a lot about music too, and he taught the boys a lot of those songs. I never heard a group of children sing so well. They sang "Always Cheerful" quite often. On one occasion, the Major told her neighbor, "Many feel they can worship God on the banks of the streams or in the fields as they turn the sod, and they can, but for me, nothing takes the place of worship in the house of God." The Major went on to found Coker College, and shortly after his death, Mattie Baker, class of 1914, wrote this poem as a memorial toast to him. "Life's true foundation is based on Christian education. A noble man with vision rare, he saw the need, his wealth did share. to train young women of our land to live and serve as God had planned, and thus uplift humanity and build for all posterity.